Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to Palworld. So in today's video, we're going to talk all about mounts. We're going to talk about the mountable pals. So in this video, I'm going to cover 18 of them. You're going to learn how to get 18 mountable pals in Palworld. This is for early / mid game. So yeah, it's going to be a good video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. How do you know if a pal is mountable? And how do you unlock mounts? Well, when you catch a pal that is mountable, it'll show up in your technology. So not all pals are mountable, but if it is mountable, you'll see it down here in technology. If you haven't caught that one pal yet, you're going to have like a little question mark. So as you can see, there's like a question mark right here. It's possible that one of these could be an additional mount that I do not have. Now, if you want to get started making these mounts, the first thing that you're going to need to have is one of these things right here. This is called the Pal Gear Workbench. Before you can make any mounts, you have to craft one of these. Luckily, you can make them at level 6. So once you become level 6, you can start making the mounts. Now, there are 5 different categories of mounts that I've discovered thus far. The first category is the ride mounts. These are the mounts that you can ride on. You know, they're for like ground travel. The next category is the flying mounts. So next category is the glide mounts. These are the mounts that you can kind of glide around Palworld with. And the next category we have is the surf mounts, and the final category is the weapon mount category. These are the pals that you can mount as weapons, burning stuff up right here. But first, we're going to showcase the ride pals. I have about 6 of them that I want to show you guys. All right, first up we have the rush whore. I don't know how you pronounce the name, but if you are a low level in Palworld, like if you're just now starting your Palworld journey, you're going to want to catch one of these as soon as possible. They're very easy to catch, and you unlock this mount relatively quickly. As you can see right here, you just need to become level 6. Once you're level 6, you can get the hog mount. You can get the hog saddle right here. Super easy to make, just takes leather stone and palladium fragment. So you can find these guys kind of close to the starter area. I'll either put a picture or I'll show some b-roll of where I found this little hog right here, but definitely get one of these. But you can actually use this little hog right here to mine rocks for you. You can charge into the rocks right here and you can get the materials from it. So the next mount is Malpaca, which is a llama. Now this mount is kind of slow. It's not really that fast, but it does have an air cannon. So if you're fighting against a pal that's weak against air, it might be useful. Or if you just love llamas, you know, you might want to grab one of these. They're not too hard to find. You can find it around the starting area. And you can grab this mount once you become level 7. So it's pretty cool. This is definitely one of my favorite ride mounts early game. This is so much faster than the pig and the llama. And it's just really fun to like ride it. But this thing can do sandblast, which is pretty cool. It can also do a fierce fang. And it can do an air cannon. So it's pretty cool. Here's the materials you need for it. Now the next ride mount is this majestic deer. Super cool. But the deer is also used for wood cutting too. If you have one of those little wood cutting things at your base, the deer can use it to cut wood. So it's pretty high in the lumber category. You can also do this power shot move. As you can see, we kind of missed that time, but it has this antler uppercut. Pretty cool. And you can actually catch things on the deer. So it's really good for traveling. But yeah, for every single ride mount that you have, you can actually attack while you're riding on the ride mount. And this applies to all the ride mounts, which is pretty cool. Definitely so much fun. Now the saddle for the deer takes quite a bit of materials to make. You'll most likely gather these materials just by exploring. Now the next ride mount is Chillette. Chillette is super chill. I actually really like riding on this. I think this thing is super adorable. Now you can find this guy as one of the bosses. It's like a level 9 boss. You can also get this guy out of an ice egg. That's how I got mine, was out of an ice egg. But he's really cool. He can do this thing called Dragon Burst. It looks like this. That was the Dragon Burst. He can also do this thing called Icicle Cutter. It looks something like this. It actually has quite a bit of range. And he also knows Dragon Breath, which looks like that. It almost goes as far as Fox Parks' flamethrower. This next ride pal is the one you saw at the beginning of the video. It is Broncherry, and Broncherry is definitely one of my favorite pals. I think Broncherry just looks so majestic. But this thing is so awesome. Now you will have to travel a little ways to get one of these. I will put up the location on the screen right here. It is a little far out from the starter area, and you have to be level 20 to unlock the mount. Here are the materials you need for it. But this thing is super cool. It can do this thing called Body Slam, which looks something like this. Boom. Now the only downside of Broncherry is that Broncherry is a little slow. It's definitely not the fastest ride mount, but it's very cool, very powerful. It also knows Sandblast. And it can do a Wind Cutter. Now the cooldown on the moves are actually surprisingly low, which is really nice. Alright, so the next category is flying pals. Now I only have one flying pal as of right now, as I'm recording this video, and that is Nightwing. And Nightwing will most likely be the first flying pal that you will get in Palworld. Super useful, and you can get Nightwing relatively early. Like there's one right over here near my base, right here on the map. I suggest whenever you're trying to catch it, definitely craft yourself a bow and arrow and shoot an arrow at it. After a couple shots, it will drop to the ground, and then after that you can take one of your lower level pals out and weaken it and just capture it. They're pretty easy to capture. You can rise up, you can rise down. It knows this thing called Tornado Attack, which is pretty cool. It also knows Air Cannon, and it knows a Wind Cutter. Now thankfully you can unlock it at level 15, which is still kinda early game-ish, and these are the materials you need to craft it. Alright, so the next category is the glide mounts. I only have 2 of these so far, but as you can see we have this Manta Ray right here. These are pretty easy to catch. You can catch them around the beach area. It's definitely a lot better than the regular glider that you craft, in my opinion. Yeah, here is the materials you need to craft Celery's gloves, and you only need to be level 7. Now, if you want to get yourself the flying squid, I found this in a dungeon. It was in one of the dungeon areas. That's where I caught it at. His name's Kilimari, and you only need to be level 9 to get his gloves. So he's pretty cool, and here are the materials you need. Alright, so let's talk about the surf mounts. I only have one of them, Surfant. I do think there is another one. It's kind of like a Gyarados pal. I haven't caught it yet, so I don't know if you can actually use it to surf, but it seems like it goes the same amount of speed on land as it does in water. So I don't know if it's technically a surf mount or not, but I'm going to call it a surf mount. You know, I caught it in the water, so I believe it belongs in the water. But this thing's freaking awesome. It knows Aqua Blast, which is pretty cool. It knows Dragon Cannon. And you can also do a Hydro Jet. It's pretty sweet. Now these are a little bit difficult to find. You have to travel a little ways from the starter area. I will go ahead and put up a picture where I found it. And you only need to be a level 10 to craft the saddle for this one right here. And here's the materials you need. Okay, so let's talk about the weapon mounts. There are 2 weapon mounts in particular that I may make a subcategory for. They're kind of like the follower weapon mounts, or like the helper weapon mounts. As you can see right here, we have Daydream. So whenever you're attacking something, Daydream will follow you and start attacking as well. But what's really cool is you can actually use a third pal as you're doing this. So you can battle, you know, it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And to unlock Daydream's necklace, you only need to be at level 8. Now, if you want to get yourself a Daydream, you got to play at night. Daydream only appears at night. You just got to really explore at night. If you just explore at night, you'll eventually run into one. They're pretty common at nighttime. Now, the next follower mount, I'm not too sure how I feel about this one. I kind of have like a love-hate relationship with it. But what Floppy does is Floppy will actually gather items for you without you actually having to pick it up. And the reason why I have a love-hate relationship with it is sometimes you definitely don't want to bring Floppy around your base, because it'll just start picking up all those materials, like all your wood, stone. You'll have like thousands of it, and it'll just weigh you down. So it is kind of annoying in that aspect. So if you're going to use Floppy, just explore with it, and don't try not to have it out around your base, or you're going to be annoyed. But to get Floppy's necklace, you only have to be level 17. Now, I actually got my floppy from an egg, so I don't know how else to get it besides that. Alright, so those were the follower/weapon mounts. Let's talk about the actual mounts that you can use for weapons. And the first one I want to talk about is Penguinette. Now, you can actually use this cute penguin as a rocket launcher. Let me demonstrate. As you can see right here, we just loaded up the cannon, loaded up the rocket launcher, and we're gonna shoot it at this penguinette right here. Boom! Yeah, that's pretty sweet, I gotta say. Pretty sweet. Though it will KO your penguinette, so if you do use it as ammo, it will die afterwards, so use it wisely. As you can see, it has 0 HP right now. Now, you will need to be level 17 before you can unlock it, but it's pretty cool. I'd say it's worth it. Alright, so the next weapon mount is Jolt Hog. You can actually pick up Jolt Hog and use it as a little grenade. Check this out. Boom! Now, if you have the electric Jolt Hog, it'll be like an electric grenade. Best part is it doesn't die afterwards. Now, if you have the ice Jolt Hog, it'll be like an ice grenade. I'll show you. Yeah, everything is like dead around me, so I'll just show you what it looks like. Boom! There's like snow and like frost everywhere. It's pretty cool. It's called the Cold Bomb. Now, to unlock the Jolt Hog's gloves, you just gotta be level 8. And to get the ice one, you gotta be level 11. Now, Jolt Hogs are pretty easy to find. You can find them around the starting area. The ice one is actually kinda rare. I've only seen one of them. And I actually saw it around a pack of dire howls. They're like surrounding it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull up the location where I found that, but it's pretty cool. Now, the next weapon mount we have is Tan Z. Tan Z is super cool. See if we can go ahead and find an enemy somewhere and I can demonstrate. Yeah, there's one out here. So you can actually equip Tan Z with an assault rifle. Check this out. It's just blowing things up with an assault rifle. That's really cool. Now, Tan Zs are pretty easy to find. You can find them around the starting area. Highly recommend picking one up for sure if you want to be OP pretty early on. And you only need to be level 12 to unlock the assault rifle mount. Now, similar to Tan Z, we also have Lift Monk. And Lift Monk has a very similar mount. Lift Monk doesn't have an assault rifle, but Lift Monk has a submachine gun. And what's cool about the Lift Monk mount is that it can mount on your character. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Here we go. And if you hold the trigger button, you can actually aim with it, which is really cool. Definitely pretty OP. Fox Parks has this perk called Flamethrower. It's called Huggy Fire. I love this thing so much. This thing's so cool. Anyway, guys, those were 18 mounts that you can get in Palworld. If you liked the video, be sure to like it, and I'll see you next video.